And now, from the capital city, it's Nightique with Edward St. Pay.
Thank you, Jim Powers, for that fine introduction. And tonight on Nightique, we've got a very interesting show. We've got a Super Bowl participant, one of the legendary wide receivers in the NFL, Willie Richardson. He's also one of the broadcast booth announcers with Rob J. for the Jackson State games every week. He's here in the studio with us. Also, Tracy Crosby, a master practitioner of Reiki. Stay tuned.
We'll be right back with more of Nightique after these messages.
This is our Gray's Box. It's a great way to snack. Fresh, tasty, and created using only the best ingredients. Choose from our range of over 90 delicious snacks. We'd like to invite you to try a hand-picked box for free. Go to grays.com and we'll send a free box directly to your office or home. It may even help you keep your hand out of the cookie jar.
Go to grays.com and enter the code GRAYS34 for a free box.
Grays.com. Snacking reinvented.
Ingalls Shipbuilding has pioneered the development and production of technologically advanced, highly capable warships for the U.S. Navy, Coast Guard, and Marine Corps for more than 75 years. Ingalls is Mississippi's largest manufacturing employer, and today Ingalls has an immediate need for more than 200 electricians at our Pascagoula, Mississippi site. Apply today at www.buildyourcareer.com or call 888-935-1507.
And now back to more Nightique.
Well, welcome back to the show. Well, it's an honor to have Mr. Willie Richardson here with us tonight.
Hey, always good to see you.
Thank you, sir, for being here. You know, well, when you talk about legendary football players, you entered the conversation. I remember through the years, growing up through the years of the NFL, the heyday of the NFL, I remember watching you. I was a Baltimore Colt fan and Johnny Unitas fan and everything, and you played with all those guys, and you were not only playing, but you were one of the stars of the team. So welcome to Nightique.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I watch you all the time and catch you on the show, and good to be on the show. I didn't think I would be here, but I appreciate you, and I've been watching what you've been doing. You've always done a great job, and I guess it's been 20 or 30 years I've been watching you look like. It's been a long time.
Time moves quickly, doesn't it?
I know it. I know it.
It really does. Well, you look great. And
thank you. Doing good.
You're staying in shape.
I've been trying to play a lot of golf. Keep myself twice, 2 or 3 times a week, and stay busy all the time. My wife got me running errands, and that helps a lot keep me in shape, I guess. So I'm in good shape, yeah.
So, all right, let's go to the beginning of the story, Willie Richardson story. Okay, you were at Jackson State. You were in the SWAC.
Right.
Now, at that time, not a lot of SWAC players were going to the NFL.
No, we did not have a lot of SWAC players. You had the Big Ten and Pac-10 or something they called it at the time. We didn't really have very many players from the SWAC schools, period, all over. I'm talking the Grambling, the Southern. Grambling had a little more than we did. But we didn't have many players going into the SWAC at the time and going into the NFL. I was very fortunate. And, you know, I came at the right time, and I think timing is so important for players to be at the right place at the right time. I came to Jackson State in '59, and Coach John Merritt was my coach. He recruited me to come to Jackson State, and I got a chance to play. I had some good quarterbacks. Cornelius Addison was a guy from Greenwood in my first 2 years. Roy Curry was from Chicago. He lives in Chicago now, but he was from Clarksdale. He was my second 2 years quarterback, and we had a good system. And I want to tell you a story how that happened, though. When I first got here, we had 2 tight ends, 3 running backs, and we ran the ball a lot. Didn't throw the ball very much. And I came in, I was about 6 feet 1, about 175, 80 pounds, so I wasn't big enough to be blocking, right? So you can't believe this, Ed. This is the truth. The first game we played was against Prairie View out there. They beat us 56-6, and I caught the touchdown, the only one we had that day. We came back to Jackson, and the next week, Coach Merritt went to a pro-type offense. Tight end, I was out wide right, had a receiver out left, 2 backs in the backfield. The next day, no practice, just started the next day. And we did that up for the rest of my career. So I said that to say my coaches was really well ahead of that time. They weren't afraid to make the changes to suit the formation and the plays you cost to the players that you got. Mm-hmm. And what that did for me is open me up to get passes, and I was able to do that. I came in and played well my freshman year, and every year I played the same position. So I was very fortunate to be in the right system.
Okay, so now the North-South game, Right. Which we don't have that game anymore.
No, they do not.
Tell us about that game.
Well, what happened is that we played Florida A&M in the national championship game in Florida a couple weeks before the game itself. The North-South game was a game that no blacks had ever played on the South team at that time. So a kid named Bob Paramore was running back at Florida A&M. We played them the week before they was getting ready to play this game. One of the other players from Florida Florida A&M, Rattlers, was supposed to play in the game, but he got hurt in our game. So Jay Gaither said, well, why don't you put Willie Richardson in his place? And I got in his place. That's how I got in the ball game. And it was the first time I was nervous. I mean, I really had a tough time trying to be relaxed to play that game because we had never been on national TV coming from Jackson State. See, we only had maybe 6,000 fans at the stadium. So now you're talking about a national TV audience. So it was tough.
And how was the game?
Well, Eddie, you can't believe this, man. And things happen for a reason, I guess, because the first play wasn't called to me, but I went across the middle, hit 2 or 3 linebackers' hand, and I caught it, went in for a touchdown. The last play of the game, I'm running down the sideline. I just have this look back, and the ball is there, and I catch it for the winning touchdown.
MVP.
MVP. And a guy told me, say, I was watching the game, Willie. He said, now, I know you're from Jackson, Mississippi, went to Jackson State. I was sitting on the edge of my seat to see whether or not you can talk on national TV. So I came up, the guy gave me, you know, I went through my same field. I was glad to be there and all that, you know, and they were shocked. But we had good training here, though.
Yeah, right. Well, you're so well spoken. I mean, and you're a broadcaster yourself. I mean,
right.
You were in Baltimore as sports director at the TV station.
That's correct. You did your own work. Yeah, I was at Channel 45. Yeah.
And that,
I worked there for a long time.
And that's a big market.
It did. I stayed there for a while, and I was very fortunate after I started playing. I got an opportunity of being in Baltimore and being with the coach. One thing about being with the coach, you didn't have to be a starter, but everybody treat you like you were. So I had a chance to be a sports director at Channel 45 for a lot of years while I was there, and I met a lot of folks, and it just really enhanced me to be able to go and do a lot of things. One thing I did that people don't know is this. I used to be a color analyst for a soccer team. I had a guy named Jim Carvelis, was the play-by-play guy, and he was a personal friend of mine, and I worked with him. Soccer. I still don't know about soccer, but I was a color analyst for him for that year, and then I did basketball and football. So I got an opportunity in Baltimore to do a lot of things in broadcasting. It was a real experience for me, and I really enjoyed it because I love people. I was talking about stuff that I knew about was football and sports. I played basketball and everything in high school and college, so I was familiar with everything I was talking about.
So now the Baltimore Colts drafted you after your senior year, and this is sort of a famous story, but you were drafted, and when you were drafted, tell us, it's not like today where everybody's in New York waiting to be drafted.
No.
Tell us about your story.
Yeah, I was on the campus playing basketball one day during the draft, and somebody came down and told me, said, well, they just had the draft, and you was drafted by the Baltimore Colts in the 7th round. I said, you kidding? So, I mean, I'm not even concerned about being drafted, to be honest with you, you know. So we had won the championship that year, so I found out, and our Colts was always my team because we only saw the Browns and the Colts in Mississippi. Right. So I always wanted to be with the Colts anyway. Right. And to get drafted by them, boy, that was a blessing.
And then the family could watch, too.
Oh, yeah.
That's a big deal.
It was a big deal. It was a big deal, and I played with Johnny Unitas, Lenny Moore, and Jim Parker, and Tom Maddy, and all the big-time players that I had watched on TV. Now I'm playing with those guys. That was the experience.
Now, as a wide receiver coming out across the middle and stuff, and you were playing against some of those old legendary guys, you know, if we remember, who were some of the toughest defensive guys as far as being out in the middle that you'd have to run into?
The first thing that come up, Dick Buckus.
Dick up, for real? Huh?
Yeah, with the Bears.
For real?
Yeah, I was a little afraid of him. He was a big guy. He was rough. And what happened is that I played against him in Chicago his rookie year. So most times, the middle linebacker knows the plays a lot of times that you're going to run. So I had to play where I came out, and Mackey was my tight end, was releasing going downfield, but that was Bucker's coverage. But he don't know that. But he looks outside, he see me coming under in his area. So he turns to come to me. And as soon as I got to the hash mark, I went upfield. So Unitas almost threw an interception. So I get back to the huddle. I'm kidding. You know, he's on me, man. You should have caught that ball. You know, you're paddling. He's raising hell, right? So my thing was this: is that I can get the hollering at from Unitas, but I might not survive a shot with Buckers. so it wasn't a whole lot of tough decisions to make at the time. I'm just thankful they didn't get intercepted. But you know, I was able to play against some great cornerbacks. I guess Nightique Lane with Detroit was one that I always remember. He was a big guy, 6'3", about 225, was rough. Played against him. I didn't know who he was at the time when I was playing with him, against him in Detroit. Caught a pass on him, one-hander, caught a pass, and I came back out inside, lined up kind of tight. I released, and he just came up and hit me, almost knocked me down, man. I said, hey, I stay away from this guy from now on, right? So I kind of found out who he was then, so I kind of stayed away from this guy. When I was playing during the time, it's so easier to play now at the wide receiver position because you can't touch a guy after 5 yards. When I played, they beat you up all over the field till the whistle blow. And you had some mean guys, Jimmy Johnson, Nightique Lane. I can go on. You had the guys at Oakland, Willie Brown, and all those guys. They was awesome. I mean, I don't know whether these receivers today could take it.
You know, the game has changed. You mentioned about how the defensive backs can't hit the receiver after 5 yards, but how they protect the quarterback.
Yes.
They protect. It's almost a different game. It used to be violence from beginning to end.
It did.
And now it's a little more controlled.
Well, the good thing about when I played, well, I put it like this, the bad thing about when I played, the more violence that it was, the more they liked it.
Well, yeah.
You know, because everybody had a full, and we had one too, had a middle linebacker. We had a guy named Bill Pellington. He was our middle linebacker, and he was tough in practice. You know, across the middle, he's out clotheslining. I said, man, we on the same team. So you know what he did to the opponents. You know, so
yeah.
That's the kind of deal it was, man. It is just, I watch TV now, man, and I said, boy, I sure wish I could be playing now, because during the time when I played, man, it was tough. It was awfully tough.
And you didn't get hurt?
Well, I was very fortunate, man. You know, I stayed in shape all the time. And one thing I did know, I always would know when I got out on the flank, I was a wide receiver on the outside, I knew where everybody was, all the patterns for everybody on our team. And then once I released, I knew where the defense was. So I knew if I got by this guy, it's going to be some guy back there waiting for me to come in there. So you got to kind of know what's going on with the whole field. Because I see guys running across the middle, they ain't paying no attention, but look, then they get caught. Woo!
Boom.
What happened? No, when I go across the field, I know that guy's coming this way. And that happened once in Minnesota. We played the Vikings. We on the last drive. We bound down by 3. Unitas throw a ball, and I'm down on the post pattern. I'm down the field, and I see the ball, and I see a guy named Krause, who was the safety. I can see him coming. So I'm saying to myself, we're going to get there about the same time to this ball. But this is our last drive. We're down by 3. So now you got to go ahead and give yourself up, right? So I just have to go up. And when I got up and got it, it was at the same time he got there. And I was very lucky to hold on. But, you know, a lot of times you got to make a decision whether you're going to survive this play, get ready for the next play, or you got to catch this one.
Right.
I had to do it, man. And that's the kind of situation I got into a lot. And I went to some situations like that, you know. But I think the most highlight thing of my career was I got a chance to play against Lombardi. Lombardi was a rookie at Detroit. I mean, at Detroit when I was at Baltimore. And we played in Baltimore. And Lim played my brother Gloucester. They played together at Jackson State here, right? So I wouldn't call a pass across the middle. He tackled me. And he said, well, how's Gloucester doing? He started talking about the family. I said, hey, man, we're in the game. Man, you know, we don't need to discuss this now. You know, so let's wait till we get finished with the game, and then we'll meet. So I ran a pattern on them where I went in and broke to the outside. He was real quick, and he always took a lot of chances. So he go in, he realized I got him beat. So he grabs me, right? And he tells me, I couldn't let you catch that one, bad, you know. So, I mean, that's the kind of thing. It was a lot of, you know, I look back on my career, and I had a lot of fun, a lot of good situations. Played against some great players, and I had a great team I played with. Unitas was a great quarterback, but he was tough.
Was he tough?
Yeah, he didn't ever think he should miss any passes.
Oh, really?
He threw him real down in the ground. He wondered what happened. You didn't catch that one. I said, you know, you couldn't tell him it wasn't thrown right. You know, you had to go back and just go back to the huddle. You know, so, but it was a great experience because I played with guys that I had been watching as a kid growing up, watching NFL.
Yeah.
And I got the chance to be with those guys.
What a dream.
It was a great feeling, yeah. It was a great feeling.
And you and Rob J are the broadcast team for Jackson State football.
And that's not easy. That's tough too. You know.
Well, y'all make a great,
we do the broadcast.
Yeah,
well,
a great team.
We've been doing it for a long time, and you know, Rob is the play-by-play, and I do the analytical analyst, and plus not only that, we have some fun on the side with it.
And you're both alumni, so
yeah.
I mean,
well, if you can't enjoy it,
your heart's got to be.
We enjoy it.
It's
we enjoy
it.
it.
Right.
Yeah, we get along. People think that we be fussing things, but we do sometimes, because I think he's wrong, he think I'm wrong. So we've been very fortunate to have been together for a long time. And I can feed off of what he was going to do even before he said, and he probably feel the same way about me. So we've had a good team together with the Jackson State football. It's been good.
Well, it's an honor to meet a world champion. Thank you for coming.
Eddie, thank you, man. Appreciate you, man. Yeah.
Please keep watching the show.
I do.
And whenever you've got something to talk about, come on back. We'll have you on an open invitation. Okay?
I'll do it. Appreciate you.
Okay, Mr. Willie Richardson, thank you for being with us, and we'll be back after this.
We'll be right back with more of Nightique after these messages.
Your on-air career journey begins at broadcastdemo.tv. Both recent graduates as well as seasoned news and weather veterans need an updated and fresh demo tape to apply for those on-air positions across the country. At broadcastdemo.tv, a one-day visit to our WeatherVision studio, and you'll have an HD and digitally edited demo tape that you'll be proud of. Broadcastdemo.tv. Invest in yourself.
This is our Graze Box. It's a great way to snack. Fresh, tasty, and created using only the best ingredients. Choose from our range of over 90 delicious snacks. We'd like to invite you to try a hand-picked box for free. Go to graze.com and we'll send a free box directly to your office or home. It may even help you keep your hand out of the cookie jar.
Go to graze.com and enter the code GRAZE34 for a free box.
Graze.com. Snacking reinvented.
When you are looking to further your education, there's only one university that towers above the rest, Jackson State University. Jackson State University is one of the leading universities in research, technology, and innovation, graduating more than 1,300 students annually and a consistent growth in revenue. Jackson State University is ranked #1 amongst the HBCUs in research and development. Make the right choice, the one choice. One Jackson State University, changing lives, one student at a time. When you are looking to further your education, there's only one university that towers above the rest, Jackson State University. Jackson State University is one of the leading universities in research, technology, and innovation, graduating more than 1,300 students annually and a consistent growth in revenue. Jackson State University is ranked #1 amongst the HBCUs in research and development. Make the right choice, the one choice. One Jackson State University, changing lives, one student at a time.
And now back to more Nightique.
Well, Tracy Crosby joins us, and she is a Reiki master practitioner and teacher. Thanks for coming.
Yes, thanks for having me.
So, okay, now tell us about Reiki.
Okay, and that's an unusual word for people if they aren't familiar with it, but it comes from the Japanese language. So Reiki is an ancient healing modality that comes from the Japanese culture, and it's where a practitioner like myself who's trained in the art works with the client to entrain their energy back to a healthful state, so that promotes healing and wellness.
So it seems like things along this line, a lot of this type of thing emanates from the East, to me. I mean, it makes sense that this would be something that would be perfected and originated in Japan.
Yes, well, in our culture, we do find a lot of things that come from Eastern medicine is what it's called, but it really comes from everywhere. It's just that it's acknowledged there more than it is here in our culture.
Our culture is slow. It seems like the West is slow to pick up on some of the things that are unseen.
Well, that's true, but it's interesting because Reiki has been established for a long time and being used in the allopathic medical world. It's part of integrative and complementary and alternative medicine departments in major hospitals throughout the United States.
So, can you tell us what is it? What is it all about?
Yeah,
how does it work?
Well, it works in a scientific way. We know now through the study of quantum physics that everything in the universe vibrates. And the human body vibrates. Obviously, we have EEGs and EKGs that measure the electromagnetic fields and the vibrations. And we can understand a lot about our health through measuring that. So it's not up for discussion whether it occurs, it's just how do you measure it and so forth. When people are sick, our vibration changes. And they can even measure this down to certain organs of the body changing states of vibrations. Reiki works by the fact of, I'll give you a phrase, it's a quantum physics phrase, it's called energy entrainment. And what this is that it's known that anything that's vibrating, if you put something else next to it, they will match vibrations. For instance, there were studies done with heart muscles, and they took some cells and put in a petri dish, and heart muscle cells will continue beating even away from the body. So the cells will continue beating. And then they took other heart muscle cells and put in a petri dish, sat them side by side, and they began to beat at the same rate. It's also a phenomenon that's been known in other areas, like if you take clocks and the old-time grandfather clocks that had the pendulum swinging. If you left them next to each other long enough, they would match swinging, match cycles. So in the quantum physics world, this is called energy entrainment. You take a person like me who's trained to put our physical body vibration into a healthful state. You step into the energy field of another person, it raises that vibration back to the healthful state. And basically what Reiki does is it promotes a de-stress in the body. It relieves tension, it helps the anxiety strain away, and we know stress is one of the major causes of illness and death in the world now. We have a lot of stresses that we never had before. A lot of them are electromagnetic. 100 years ago, we didn't have telephone wires, cell phones, microwaves.
So the electromagnetic energy has a stressful impact on the human body?
Absolutely, and the studies that are coming out now about cell phones and things, we know microwaves, you know, you have to be careful around microwaves. So yeah, it's well known that it affects the body.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It really does. It's something that we're not aware of either. So we might not be very careful around certain things and we don't realize we're harming ourselves.
Oh, that's right. You have to look out for yourself.
You know, people often say something along the lines of, there must be something in the water we don't know about or whatever. But maybe that's one of the problems that people face and we don't really understand it, you know.
You know, we've gotten to be a culture where we rely on other people to take care of us. And we need to be responsible for ourselves. Everything doesn't work for everyone. You have to know your own self, you have to know what works for you, and you have to work constantly to be in a healthful state. Our society is just filled with so much anxiety. There's anxiety over everything. I mean, go to your mailbox and just sort through the junk mail. That causes me anxiety. Even, you know, email too. I mean, it's just minutia.
In the world,
we're bombarded.
So, you know, in the world itself is, you know, talking about vibrations. The world is in a vibration right now. There's so much chaos, you know, worldwide, politically and in every fashion. You know, the poor human can barely help but not be affected by all that. You know, just on your daily walk. You know.
Well, that's absolutely right. We all know it. We all feel it. And like you said, the state of the world today is in chaos. We all know that there is something majorly going on. So things like Reiki are really something easy that you can do. You can go to a Reiki practitioner and feel what it feels like to be de-stressed and to feel and remind yourself what that is. You can take a class and learn how to do Reiki for yourself.
What is your website?
My website is called New Sun Energy Works, and so you can just put that in a search engine and it'll pop up and you can click on it and find out more.
A person can go to a Reiki practitioner and you would become less stressed going through that process.
Yes, that's why major hospitals offer Reiki sessions for cancer patients and other patients, because it's such an anxiety-filled thing to be ill. And probably everybody out there has someone that they know that's had cancer or a debilitating disease, and it's hugely stressful on everyone. these hospitals offer this service along with other complementary, things like acupuncture, meditation. All of these things are great to help the body regain its healthful state. And it feels good too. It's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're in that state of vibration, you really feel so relaxed. About half of my clients fall asleep within 5 minutes because they just don't know what it feels like to be, balanced.
So give us the website one more time for folks that might want more information.
Yeah, New Sun Energy Works.
New Sun Energy Works.
Mm-hmm.
And Tracy Crosby. And now I want to mention too that you've had a 30-year career in the world of academia, right?
That's correct.
Teaching.
I've been a teacher for 30 years in music, and I'm still currently teaching at Hines Community College. I'm very proud of that and love my students. In fact, I created a class to help them understand performance anxiety, where we talk about all types of things for performers: how to meditate, how to visualize, how to do the right nutrition, everything to support your health and your state of well-being in a natural way so that you don't have to rely on drugs like Inderall to get on stage without, shaking and
exactly. It's better not to use any of that,
And look, my kids, they are unbelievable. They catch on to this stuff. They know so much. It is amazing.
It's great to be able to integrate that type of well-being consciousness with performance. I mean, that's what you need. You need anything you can get to make it better and to be less anxious. Whatever your area of performance is, I think this is a great thing.
Well, anytime we're under stress, our body suffers the effects. That's why we shake. That's why we get dry mouth.
Right.
We think we're in fight or flight, but there's no saber-toothed tiger chasing us. We just are imagining that same state.
Right.
And the problem is we stay there all the time. So your body produces all types of chemicals, and it begins affecting your health, degenerating your health.
Well, thank you for coming today, and we want you to come back again and come every so often, and we'll get an update on Reiki.
Awesome.
Okay,
thank you so much,
Tracy.
Thank you
very much.
Join us every weeknight statewide for Nightique with Edward St. Pé. If you have suggestions for guests or want to be on the show yourself, drop us a line at www.nightique.com. I'm your announcer, Jim Pollard. Good night from all of us at Nightique.